Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are following your purpose. Hope you guys are conquesting. Hope you guys are conquesting yourself first and all the things around you. And I think it's important to kind of recognize that this is the key type of thing. I'll move my thing over just a pad here and see if I can kind of focus on it. The idea, guys, is that you want to continue to be an excellent person, grow as you can. And as time goes on, you can become more and more of a high-value male because you're in self-control. And this is a battle. This is why I always call battle on and warriors unite together, because we have to fight a battle. Now, I know some people don't like it, but the bottom line is once we're able to accomplish our goal, I'll stop doing it. I have no trouble doing it either way. But when an army has to come to war, we need to have unite. It's got to be a time to unite, because if we don't wake up and do that, we're falling more into the abyss of temptation, the abyss of destroying ourselves. We have to be careful of that. Now, I'm going to go ahead in the next few episodes and actually kind of group these a little bit together. So today we're going to talk about John Jennings made a comment, is being alone so bad? We're going to also talk about how to transmute energy. Alex, Andre, Mirko had some good comments with that. Being married under SR is going to be a third one. Gio, looking like a pink rabbit. Luke, Dream Big, Ireland, they asked about that. And then we'll talk about dating. We have a bunch of them. My Voice, Red Line Eliminator, El Duro, Unemployed. We're going to talk about those. AJ Dynamo as well. So, and SR 9207. So we're going to focus on that as time goes on. I'm going to try to group them together to make it easier. I have a little extra time coming up in the next few weeks, and we'll see if we can also try to figure out how to do a live stream. I think I'm close to it, and I think I have some time to do it, so we're going to try to announce it on one of the videos, and then we're going to go ahead and do it. All right, quick shout-outs before we start. MKT, Livsnjuture Sverige, thank you, my friends. DRE, thank you. Tony Montana, thank you. And Booster, Oleg, Vishnu S, looking younger, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. It goes back to the Kendler's Fountain of Youth. I believe so much in that. It's unbelievable. Hoaxbuster, hodler. It's only when I did the sixth one that I really fully believed in it. Giovanni, Rohit, kamble, Earth Angel OC 1 month. Now, this is a while ago, so I'm sure Earth Angel's passed 1 month. Congratulations. Keep it up. NPC 117, it's real. You darn right, my friend. Warrior, you're exactly right. It is real. It is something that people are not going to tell you about. It's the Eastern philosophy that, the Western world sometimes doesn't want to understand and believe. They don't want people. I don't feel wanting people to get well and happy. So the wise one, thank you. Motivation in the mind, and James Langford, thank you guys so much. So at the 3-minute mark, let's talk about this idea of being alone. And John Jennings asked the question, is being alone so bad? And the answer to that question, John, is no, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's not. In fact, you have to start off being alone. We are always starting off being alone. That's the key to the whole thing. When you're born, you're not, once you're outside and you're a little child growing up, you're alone. Yes, there's people around you. Obviously, your parents, other people can support you. They'll help you grow, but you are essentially alone physically sitting at that spot. Now, spiritually, energy-wise, you're never alone. But from a physical standpoint, at that moment, standing there, whether you're 3 years old, 5 years old, 20 years old, 50, 60 years old, you are alone physically. The trouble with most of us, when we come to this idea, and this ties into this whole idea of loneliness, is the fact that as people become unbalanced, and what I mean by balance is energy levels for males especially, they become unbalanced, they end up then missing something, and they lose, and they get more anxiety and more energy, and this is where the fear, the anxiety, and the loneliness comes in. Chances are that person, whether it's physical, mental, they're losing energy. And this is why they're lonely. Now, it may not be physical necessarily, though it could be as well. If you look at a lot of case studies, you'll see there's a lot of case studies of people who are losing energy because they're releasing, and no one knows that obviously, but they're taking the effects of that from the mental brain, everything else they're losing. You should not have to be lonely. God is with you. The energy is with you, around you, in support. And you should never really feel lonely, in theory. Though we all do it in practicality. And a lot of times it's because we've lost energy. It could be emotional, could be physical. So because of this, the question really that John asked is a very good, philosophical, important question. In order to find happiness, in my opinion, in order to find peace, in my opinion, it starts with self-control and the idea that you don't need other people to be happy. Now, in this world of peer pressure, especially starting in the teenage years, it is paramount for people to get approval of everybody. All you got to do is look at the number of likes and the thumbs ups and all the things people do on TikTok and Facebook and all these other things. They're trying to get people to notice them. They want validation, especially true of women. Validation is very important. But if you don't get validation, psychologically there's a lack theory, I call it. If you don't want validation, that's when you get all kinds of people liking you because you don't care. The same thing with women attraction. Once you don't start caring and you just be yourself, women will flock over you because you're on your purpose. You're doing your goals. You're doing the things you got to do, and you're not paying attention to women. And because of that, now they become attracted to you. And now you got all kinds of women who are contacting you. I don't care what age it is. The age is irrelevant when it comes to this energy and this whole demeanor you have, that you're on your own and you're a leader, you're in charge of things, you're setting your own pace, you're living your own direction through God. That's what makes you attractive. But if you're losing energy and you're throwing your energy away, or even if you're sleeping with a bunch of people at one time, you're going to eventually feel lonely, even though you might be in a room or crowd of people. And I've taught this in the communication classes for many years. You could be sitting there in a room and still be totally lonely. Because the loneliness does not come from other people. Or the connection, the opposite of loneliness, the happiness. It comes from a feeling you get it could be with other people, but it could be by yourself. I've learned to like to live by myself. I've been married for 30-some years. But once you do that, now you attract all kinds of people. And the old saying is, if you like yourself and you like being with yourself, all of a sudden, now other people like you too. And that's the whole key to it. Because you have to get inside. You have to master that inside. This is all about mastering inside. Retention, continence is one of it. The medieval alchemist, we talk about the chemistry, phosphorus, all those things we've talked about. Magnesium, the change in your brain, all those things. It comes down then to controlling yourself. If you can control yourself, you've mastered that fight within, then everything on the outside becomes easy. Because all of a sudden now other people see this and they see how attractive, and opportunities come your way in incredible ways. Whether it's financially, whether it's romantically, whatever it might be. But remember, you still got to stay that control. You can make a lot of money, but you still got to control the money. You can have lots of women around you, but you got to control the temptation. Because what you're going to do is fall back into the old pattern, and again, you'll be lonely. Or you'll be sad to be by yourself. This is where the problem is. It starts within us, warriors, and that's the key. So this is why I think John brings up an excellent point, and something that needs to be kind of looked at when you guys are looking at self-development, self-improvement as you're getting older, especially some of you young guys. It's crucial at a young age to learn how to control yourself, your emotions, your temptations, your needs, those things. Don't go in excess on anything. Moderation is always the key. But in this case, be careful. As I said in other videos recently, don't lose any of your energy if you can avoid it. Now, that's almost impossible. We all lose energy at times, whether we're talking about the physical, we're talking about mental, we're talking about stress. We all tend to lose some energy. But it regains itself pretty quickly as time goes on. And if you continue this process, you start to, as Kendler talks about, slow down the aging process. It almost stands still. And that's because you're building energy. In my thought pattern, what ends up happening is that as you're keeping your energy, right, we talk about those exercises. They tend to swirl the energy forces, and they've called them chakras, other things before, and that keeps moving along. So what ends up happening is that you're keeping that energy you would normally lose, and even if you get excited, the energy moves down to your system, but then up again. It's transmuted up with all the exercises and activities that you do. And so the whole key to this whole thing then is to realize that the more balance you have with this, the less you're going to feel alone. And you should never feel alone when you have a number of things going on there. A, you have God, first of all, with you. Your Creator is with you. That person, you feel safe with your Creator. Because He created you, He's not going to let you down. He's not going to put you in a bad position. He's always going to do it. You have to have faith and build your faith. But again, the second aspect of this is self-control. As you're learning temperance, as you're learning continence, you're going to go ahead and realize the benefits, all types of benefits because of that. And as a result of that, then you become more successful, more stronger, more fit in many different ways. And all of a sudden now, you're living a whole different type of life, but you got to continue your whole life with the countenance, with the appreciation of your God, and trying to keep those things to you. And you should grow spiritually within yourself as time goes on, because that's what the whole bottom line is. This is why I've done this for now almost 1,300 days, 1,325, 50 days. I can't remember what it is. Monk mode is still an issue with me. I'm now back to, trying to do like 40, 50 days. Monk mode is, when we talk about monk mode, we'll have a separate one on monk mode. But monk mode is not even thinking about women. That is still an issue this warrior has to admit that it does have. But as far as releasing all that kind of stuff, that's long gone. But the idea then is you still want to get better and better. So in my mind, I'm getting better and trying to get better and better with myself as time goes on. And obviously, when you look at things, you can see the difference in people as time goes on. You can probably look at some of my other videos way back in the beginning and notice a difference. It's because I've gotten better with these concepts and learning them and applying those type of things we're talking about. So, and we're not talking about taking any kind of pills. We're not talking about any kind of thing that the media wants you to take to get better, all these kind of things. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll take vitamin D and zinc especially during the pandemic stuff we had. But beyond that, that's all it did. So the whole thing is you're trying to better yourself through yourself. The holistic approach, everything should come from within. And God has given you things from within. I mean, yeah, He's created science things to help you, I believe, augment the things you have. But it's got to come from within. And the way you activate the things from within is not abusing yourself. This is why they used to call the masturbation stuff and everything self-abuse. Because the whole idea is you're abusing yourself. Now, we don't think about it in these modern days because people think this is all modern. But this has been going on for thousands of years. This human nature has not changed over the last 50 years now to have all this stuff going on. It's all another one of these things that society, I call it the evil one, satanic type people who are talking about controlling others, and they control others by trying to make you weak and make you scared and make you lonely and make you kind of feel those type of things. So there's no reason, as John's saying, to feel bad that you're by yourself. In fact, you should glorify the fact that God is with you. This is a time you can talk with God. And this is a time to kind of get things in meditation. You can do prayer, all these type of things. This is a good time to do that when you're alone. I have trouble finding time to be alone. That's my issue with working, family, wife, all kinds of stuff going on. It's hard to find the actual time that you can actually be alone and talk with God. I have to do it late at night. I'm talking about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, or I talk about it 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So those are the types of things you have to focus on to kind of get this done. But God is talking to you all the time. The Lord's talking to you, and you have to respond to this. So never feel lonely. The key points that we talk about here is you always have the Lord with you. You have your Creator. Just pay attention to your Creator and listen to your Creator. And secondly, self-control, starting with continence and and semen retention, you're going to go ahead and become stronger all the time. Don't give up. You may not see the benefits right away. And a few people mentioned that, by the way, and I'm going to mention something about that before I leave you guys. The idea, guys, is that it took, and I know from experience, 47 years of going back and forth all the time. The idea is that the longer you've done that habit, the longer it takes. It took me a while to see some benefits, even though I noticed some right off the bat. There's others that took a long time. And now I'm seeing more of the benefits over the last year or so, only because I've gotten a further step ahead. That's because I had so many bad years. So if you've had a lot of bad years of doing this, well, it's going to take some time to cleanse your system, as they say. Cleanse the system. Get it out of there. Get the whole habit in your mind out of there too. It's easy to go back to the habit, especially if you formed it a long time ago. All right, my friends, I hope that helped on this Saturday morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are continuing to follow your purpose. And always remember two things. And for those who don't like my screaming, and it's coming up in a second here. First of all, every day, and this day is a good day, beautiful day outside in the Midwest. Every day is a new day to a great warrior, and you guys are all great warriors. And number two, guys, as we always talk about, this is a continual fight, a war. And the reason I scream and yell at times at the beginning and end of these things is because we need to continue to let people know, wake people up, because they're in a fog. Because people are teaching them this is okay to do this, it's okay to release, it's okay to do these drugs, it's okay. Sex is the most important thing. And guys, I'm telling you, it's the opposite. God will give you that pleasure with people. There's no doubt with that. But you got to use it wisely and not releasing. I don't care. Don't be releasing. But it's easier said than done. And I had problems 47 years, so I know that. So, all right, guys. Anyway, always remember, continue to battle